Okay, so this is the last Game of Thrones review that we're gonna do. It is the final Game of Thrones review for season 8 and for the rest of the series. As always, the regular format, myself, and we have Nick in today. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys?
I mean, we can intro it, but let's just get to it. Game of Thrones season 8, episode 6 closed on Sunday. Um, it is Wednesday. I've been taking this time. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've finally come to grips with this season being over, uh, and I feel like I'm finally at peace with the what the episode was.
I got mixed thoughts about it.
I'm not saying I'm happy, but I think I'm finally at peace.
Me too.
I'm at peace.
Yeah.
So I think I can come in here objectively and say, without any bias, and I can objectively, after reviewing the facts and everything, I can objectively say that episode was a piece of crap.
Dude,
that episode was so bad.
It was terrible.
It's like the culmination of everything that I've been complaining this whole entire season.
Yeah, and I was being optimistic about it.
You were.
I was being pretty optimistic. I even said a couple podcasts ago, let's just see where this goes before we start pointing fingers and cursing names. But nah, it was. I was very disappointed.
Okay, so let's just start from the beginning of the episode and work our way to the end. Let's just start at the beginning. So the beginning starts off with just a lot of walking.
It is a lot of walk. I don't know how many steps in those people got.
Yes, I don't. The crazy thing is, I'm thinking
there was a good. Yeah,
they're just walking.
I noticed that. Literally, they spent like 10 minutes just showing Jon and Tyrion just walk places.
And then there was at one point that Jon was like, "You need people to walk with you," and then Tyrion's like, "Nah, I can walk with myself."
Yeah, it's like
so
the walk.
It was.
They should have put the Walk of Shame as the title.
The Walk of Thrones.
The Walk of Thrones.
What made me upset was that this was basically what we saw in the trailer. So we know, I get they wanted to see the destruction. They wanted to see the charred bodies, the skeletons, and everything.
Oh,
but it was just like so much walking. And then so Tyrion, and this is when I knew this episode was going to be a bunch of bullshit. Tyrion walks into the room where Cersei and Jaime had died, right? And he picks up one brick, and the Cersei and Jaime were right under, there was literally 3 bricks on top of them.
One brick hit them.
That's when I was like, what is going on? And then you look to the left, no bricks. So you're telling me that Cersei and Jaime could have moved to the side and they would have still been alive?
Dude. Yeah,
the roof caved in on one area.
All I could think of was all the random shit that just didn't matter.
It just did. We can get to that later.
I know, but from that point, just right there, having to do with Jaime,
having
to do with Cersei, having to do with the stupid tunnel beam. They could have stayed, like you said, if they would have just stayed right there. Literally, the whole room was still there. Where did those rocks even come from?
It's it was supposed to. It's supposed to be because the castle had collapsed, but they literally walked. Jaime took her to the one area where the castle collapsed.
They made it seem like the castle collapsed, but that throne was way up there, man.
And that's my problem, because when you go to the top of the Red Keep, really the only thing that was missing was
the roof.
I don't even know anymore.
It wasn't even the whole roof. It was just a good chunk of it.
It was, yeah. So
Drogon even was in there, and he even looked at nice room.
So we move to that portion, and this is when tell me this. Okay, so Jon and Davos are walking. They're walking, right?
Yeah.
And they run into Grey Worm executing the Lannisters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. But then Jon splits up and he runs into Arya, and then him and Arya talk for a little bit. Arya does not have the horse anymore.
Where did the horse go?
The horse was just irrelevant. Was just a plot point.
Did she even go anywhere?
She just rode half a lap.
Yeah, where did she even do it? Like, I thought she was gonna go back to Winterfell or something.
Yeah,
She literally hopped on the horse and then went out of the castle and was like, ah, "I'll just stay
I'll
here.
just walk away.
I'll just
I
walk,
I
just
just
walk back, and I'll just forget. I don't need the horse
And I
anymore."
don't even know how Arya got that close to John that fast, but she did. And I'm not here to dispute that. But what my problem was okay. So like I said, like I established, Davos and John walked past Grey Worm when they were executing everyone. Tell me how come John in the time it took John to get to the top of the castle,
Yeah.
Grey Worm was already there.
Oh man.
Like
Yeah, that was why. That doesn't make
it
any
does.
sense.
Grey Worm was killing people, and Davos like, come on, John, let's just go.
I know.
John gets to the top of the steps, and Grey Worm's already there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so time is not working here. Time is not right. Time isn't working. And then uh Daenerys, she gives her tyrant speech to the Dothraki and Unsullied. She's like, we're gonna liberate this place. And I thought it was funny because they were like, we're gonna liberate this, we're gonna liberate this. And John was sitting there like stone faced, and then she said, God, I guess I got Winterfell. And he was like, what? He said, what? He said, wait, what? What? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So Daenerys is giving her tyrant speech, right? And then Tyrion walks up and like he drops his hand, and he was like, she was like, you let your brother free, and he was like, you slaughtered thousands of people, and it was like Daenerys made a face like, what? Like she was like trying to register that, and like I just want to give a shout out to Amelia Clark on her part.
Yeah.
Because
she did amazing.
To go from what she was to what she was to what she was at the just go from like episode 1 of season 8 or episode 2 of season 8 to go to like the degree the various like degrees of Daenerys. I would say I'm impressed because like it's just like left field, like there's like no preparation for that. So then there's another thing, like Daenerys like sends Tyrion to the prison, and then John immediately goes and visit Tyrion at the prison. And John and Tyrion are having a long conversation, and it literally takes Daenerys from the time she sent Tyrion to the prison to the time that him and John were talking to get to the it took her that long to get. She went straight from that from the steps to the throne. What I'm trying to say. She went straight from the steps to the throne. John went from the steps to the prison to talk to Tyrion, and then went to the throne, and they made it there at the same time.
Dude.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Watch some theories.
No, I haven't. No, these are no theories. This is
just noticed that. That's awesome.
These are what I'm noticing off of just watching it.
That's just.
And it's just it's sloppy.
Makes me even more upset.
It's sloppy. Like I'm just talking just sloppy. Like it's just the time.
Something about time, and they've just completely
they just don't care.
Disregarded it. I mean, you think about they spent 4 seasons getting, even more than that, 5 seasons getting Arya from freaking where? From King's Landing to fucking
to Winterfell to Bravos to from everywhere.
4 seasons.
Yeah, and pretty much 6. Pretty much the whole 6 seasons was her traveling.
I still don't understand what the hell she even needed the horse for. She didn't even leave. She rode the horse to the fucking exit.
She rode the horse from the exit, and you saw the exit from where she was standing.
Yeah, she left. I thought she was okay. She's going to Winterfell. I think that's where they were decided like, it's shitty ending anyways. Let's just finish it.
Just like, I think you're right. They were just like, let's just finish it.
That was that was literally the worst episode.
But so let's just.
And it's not even because it's the ending.
It's not even because of the ending. It's just sloppy. It's really like I was like so those are the first that's the first 20 minutes of the episode. So I'm already like disappointed from that point on.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, yo, this doesn't make sense. The time is going everywhere. Like time.
I did feel kind of funny about that. I was like, wow, they met exactly at the same time.
Yeah, they just met at the same time.
But I didn't think about it.
So this is what I thought. This is what I thought at the time. I was like, okay, so maybe like Daenerys is like walking around the castle. And
that could definitely
being like nostalgic or stuff like that. But it's like that's not true because she's been all about the throne her whole entire time.
She would have
went straight to the throne. She would have went straight to the throne.
She could have went already. And then decided just to go back.
That probably could be the case, but I just felt like that reaction she had when she walked up to the throne and she like was about to touch it. That's like I just saw the throne for the first time ever.
But I mean, when you're obsessed with something like that, it probably gets worse the more you look at it.
I mean, I'm fine with us trying to
Can I
defend
just
this.
say what, like after that, what happens that pretty much ends the show is, I mean, John takes a dagger and stabs her in the heart.
After he had that conversation with Tyrion.
After he had the conversation with Tyrion, which to me didn't really like. It just was like too easy. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like so Tyrion convinces John, and this is the thing. This is the thing because everyone leading up to this, I'm watching everybody's channel. Everyone is saying that John is gonna be honor bound to have to kill her.
Yeah.
He didn't. I thought it was interesting that he didn't necessarily feel that way. Like he said, I'm not gonna justify what she did, and then he went on to justify everything she did.
Yeah.
And then Tyrion was lost. He lost. Like he tried everything he did. He said, I loved her too, just not as successful as you. He lost. But then the only way he could do it, which I thought it was a little dirty, but it's probably true. He said, your sisters aren't going to bend the knee.
Yeah.
So that's what got John.
That's what really got me.
That's what I'm. That's
that
what
was
got,
meaningful in that part, and I get it. And that's to me what made it like, it made it a terrible episode, but also an acceptable end because of that.
So that was it. That it was that right there. It was like that moment where John was like, I gotta protect my sisters. My sisters. To me, he's the only one that was doing the pack survives together, lone wolf thing. Pack survives, right?
Yeah.
So, but even when he got to Daenerys, which was like, because I'm not gonna lie, I like the romance of it all. I'm with the romance, and I like both of them. People say they don't have the best chemistry together, but I was like, whatever. I'm rocking with it. I'm in too deep.
It made good.
I'm in too deep. I like it. So like that, I like the exchange between Daenerys and Jon. I really like that. Like they were, and she was just like, you know, just like be with me. And then it was like, stupid Jon, if you'd have just did that 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, that's just literally like she just if she gave her some comfort, man, some company.
It was just like, you know, like Jon, I got that. Queen. It's like, Jon, you're a piece of crap, dog. Like we talked about earlier, she lost her best friend, her son, and everything.
Stupid,
and then you couldn't just like hug her, give her comfort.
Stupid, man.
And then so like she was just like finally she just like after she achieved everything, she was like, I don't care anymore, Jon, just be with me. We can liberate all these people. And then it was sad because like remember Tyrion was telling him like, you know what's right. You know what's right.
Yeah.
And then that's what she said to him. Like he said, he was trying to tell her, I don't know what's right because he's not trying to kill her.
Yeah.
But she kept on saying, you know what's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she was like, it was like, I felt like that was good. Like I was like,
yeah, that was crazy. I did think about that.
I like
she
that.
Was like, you know what's right.
You know what's right. You always
have. She's just saying like, you're so great, and like I love you, and all this shit.
And I felt like I was like, okay, so it could.
It went from like, oh, like you're not showing me love, fine, to like, I need you, like please.
Yeah, it was like I was just like
it was interesting.
I liked that moment, but it was just that point where then she flips. She flips again. She was like regular Daenerys, like happy she achieved everything. Then she flipped and was like, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go on a liberation tour, like 2019 liberation tour. We're just gonna liberate everywhere. And then we're like, because she was establishing that both of them knew it was good, and then Jon was like, but what about the people who think they know it's good? And she was like,
they don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice.
She's like basically like your sister's included.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. You're
gonna be fine.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. And like honestly, if Jon had hindsight, bro, he might have just went on the tour. I think because okay, so after that, which like I said, that broke my heart because I got a little crush on Emilia Clarke, so I didn't want to see her go out like that.
Okay, you keep going on because I want to hear what you have to say about what happened after that.
So when he stabs her, bro, like I was just like, yo, like her face was just like, her face didn't even register like what was happening. She was like,
what? Like
she was like confused. She like, and I was like, dang, I couldn't hear a last word or anything. I needed something. Like I don't know. I just felt like she just got stabbed, and I was like, dang.
She just like looked and she realized she got stabbed, and she's confused, and she just died right there.
And I was just like, dang, man.
They had to do it like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's like that's like that part. That one got me like That was emotional. That got me.
Yeah.
I can't lie, because even regardless of all the sloppy acting, that there was those moments of dialogue and things that happened that were still key to the show.
Yeah.
That also made it an acceptable ending. I
I-
don't think they should redo it.
I feel like Daenerys, regardless she was evil or not, she deserved a way better ending than that.
No, she did.
Like that, just to get like sneak attack, stabbed in the side by like the guy she's in love with. That like she dropped everything for. Like literally,
Yeah.
she would have had King. She would have had all this if she didn't like protect him. Like, pretty much lost 2 dragons for his fight. Done all this stuff and like
Lost all her army.
everything for this guy.
And you know what? We don't really realize that till like the end. But which, if they would have made it longer, if they would have just done the 10 episodes, I think it'd be more explainable, and they could at least do a time skip.
Yeah, I feel like they could have been.
They did do a time skip, but
yeah, it was like 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
but like with Daenerys, they needed to make us without it. Like I would, if she was like legit like crazy and there was no going back, it would have been more sad because I'd have been like, dang man, I wish she just wasn't crazy. But you know, it was just too fast.
Yeah.
Her to the point where she went like to the point of no return. There was no point of no return. It was just like she was just crazy, and there was nothing you can do. And we're gonna talk about our theories after that. I honestly don't think she was crazy. I think Bran had something to do with it, but we'll get to our theories when we get to that part. But yeah, so like she just died. There was like no more words from her. It was like I wish maybe they could at least had her like snap out of like her air quotes craziness and then just like have some words, like some final words from John, like some I had to do it, and she says like something there's had to be something there. And then another BS moment. Drogon flies in. Okay, so it was a real sad moment.
Yeah.
Drogon, this was a sad.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of this moment?
I thought I was tuned in, and I get it, and it had symbolic meaning, and I liked the meaning. But the way that they had unraveled everything before, it was just too quick.
Yeah.
It was too quick, and it didn't give me a chance to really get it.
Yeah.
So I was, I got it, but at the same time, I was like, I don't like the way it's being presented.
So, like, because, like, the time, like, I think he should have been with Daenerys for a little bit.
I feel like there should, that type of stuff, there's lead up for. There's context and a little bit, more context than what they had, which is what that episode lacked a lot of. And it's all because of the last episode. Maybe if they would have done the last episode slightly different, there's all these what ifs, but this last episode, they tried their best to justify what they did to all the characters, and Drogon being a fictional character, whatever. They made it odd. They gave it an understanding that like, okay, we never knew, like that the dragon was actually like processing things like that.
No, the dragon has super intelligence.
That he was just like, this stupid throne cost me everything.
the throne.
Like if he could talk, he'd be
the
like,
throne did this to my mom.
It wasn't you. It was the throne.
Like so, like yeah.
Damn
so
this throne.
Damn the throne. Let me burn it.
He burned the throne.
So like yeah, that's crazy. I think if they would have had it where like Drogon attacks Jon jumps, he's jumping and rolling, and he jumps in front of this throne.
And then Drogon
just burns it. And then Drogon looks at Jon and he's like, I can't do it. Like, I can't hurt you. Like, then I would think it's more believable. If if Drogon, like, he attacks with, like, he's attacking Jon. He's burning everything. He's flaming everything. And then him and, like, Jon can't, like, after he burns the throne, he backs Jon to a corner. They look at each other in the eyes. Then he's like, I can't do that. Then I'm like, okay. Like, if they make something like, then I'm okay.
Did you see that meme where it's like Drogon when Jon was making out with Daenerys in front of the dragons, and Drogon's looking at him all funny, and there's a meme that says like some subtitles. It's like, I'll hide the body, bro.
No, I saw that one. I saw that one. He said, I'll hide
the body.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It was like, damn, that's dirty.
So yeah, I didn't. I didn't like Drogon. I get it. I get the throne being
No,
destroyed.
yeah, I got it, and I understood it meant something, but
Mhm.
like also it was like the way they presented it was kind of silly.
So there's a theory, and this goes back to more with the books. And this goes like if you there's a channel called Bridge 4. This guy, I watch a lot of his videos, but he was saying that there's this thing like when you warg into an animal, you kind of take a little bit of that animal goes into you, and a little bit of you goes into the animal, and it's like so, and it also like when you bond with the animal, a little bit of you goes in the animal. And I was watching the scene from earlier this season, way early, like in the second season, where Robb Stark was at the he was at the feast of like all of his bannermen, and then one person got mad, and he was having an argument with Robb, and it was like at a dinner table, and then they were like they were talking like about like fighting, like it was like a serious thing, and this is one of his bannermen. I think it was like Great John Umber or whatever, and then like Great John, he stands up and like he like kind of puts his hand on the sword. And then that's when Robb's direwolf jumps up on the table, runs at him, and takes off 2 of his fingers.
Yeah.
So it's like the dog has a sense of like, because Robb and that dog, they bonded. So they have like an emotional connection. A piece of Robb is in that direwolf.
No, yeah, just like with Jon and Ghost.
Yeah, and Arya and
Nymeria.
So what this guy was saying was that maybe a piece of Dany was in Drogon. So that's why Dany was like, if no one's going to have the throne, I'm not going to have it. And then that's why that piece of Dany that's in Drogon looks at Jon and is like, I can't kill him. That's what
I believe it.
I think that's what they're trying to. I think that's what that is, but they didn't explain it at all.
They didn't present it.
It's more that concept is in the books though.
I get it.
That's more of a book thing.
Yeah.
So I just think they because they pulled it and they didn't explain it. So and so after that, and we're just going through this. I just want to just break down the episode. So after that, it's 5 weeks later.
Yeah.
Jon is in prison, which is the stupidest concept.
Yeah, I don't even.
Okay, let's break this down.
I feel like there should have been something that happened that made them decide, because it's just like, oh no, we'll just take him prison. Like,
okay, Grey Worm
of all people.
Grey Worm was just killing prisoners. He said, "Take no prisoner."
Anyone who's against Daenerys, and this will kill Daenerys.
Bro, those dudes didn't even do anything. The Lannisters, they haven't even. They freaking surrendered. They gave up in the first 30 seconds of the battle, and he said, "If you're against Daenerys, you gotta go." This man, and you know how dumb Jon is. I mean, this episode kind of made me jump back on the bandwagon because he got done so dirty. But you know, Jon probably walked out. Grey Worm, I killed my queen.
He just stood there and then like crying.
Yeah, he was probably crying.
And then like Grey Worm was like, came in, he was like, and then he's like, I killed the queen.
Yeah,
he's all crying and shit.
He probably was crying next to the puddle of blood. And Grey Worm's like, where's the queen? He said, I killed the queen. Drogon took her away. Like yo, like it was just.
He could have played it off. He could have been like, oh, she went with Drogon.
Yeah, she went with Drogon,
and then just left.
Yeah, she's flying around somewhere.
She's with her son.
Yeah, and then just walked out. But you know, Jon has the honor, so he's going to turn himself in. And you know, Jon does have a level of plot armor, not as strong as Arya's, but he has plot armor.
Yeah.
So that's what kept him alive, and that's why Grey Worm didn't kill him and took him prisoner. So then they have the council. And this leads into the council, which was crazy because I didn't even know half the people on the council.
Yeah.
They had like random people on there. Like they had the new Prince of Dorne. They could explain who he was.
Dude.
They had some random dude sitting next to Edmure. They had another. They had like another random guy. It was just, and then the council was. It was just the council was dumb.
How did they decide? The council was ridiculous.
It was dumb.
Dude, there was the dialogue in that was the worst in the whole show.
It was horrible.
After that, the dialogue was like really bad. That's this episode. These past 3 episodes, I should say, shows you how important writers are.
Mm-hmm.
Because they tried their best and they were doing just a little bit okay after the books.
Mm-hmm.
And they were making it, seem like it was still going to be meaningful. And then it just
I have my theories about the books. Like, okay, so like the first like 4 or 5 seasons, I can't remember where the books drop off. I'm pretty sure it's after the fourth one.
Yeah.
But for giving the benefit of the doubt, so let's say it's the fifth one.
Yeah.
So the first 4 to 5 seasons to me were cool. The sixth season,
You can tell it was deeper
it was deeper.
because they were going off the books.
And then like the sixth season, you start like that's when the sixth season is when John is dead at the beginning of the sixth season.
Yeah, that's where it got interesting.
So it was so like a lot of things they were like had these big like plot points like John's dead and is Sansa gonna get away from Ramsay? That was like the beginning of season 6.
Yeah.
Or the end of season 5 is when John dies and when I think Sansa gets away or whatever. So it's like they were carrying over from like the last season. Like you're trying to figure out what happens after the last one. And I think Daenerys is finally getting back into like because I think she was like on some type of she got like kidnapped or something by the Dothraki or something. It was Daenerys is going on a she was in a church. She was in some trouble stuff.
Yeah.
So like season 6 was like the resolution of what happened in season 5. So they were using that to carry over, and then you have like the Battle of the Bastards, and then there's other stuff. So like there was so you have wars that can like that kind of was like oh snap, like they had like it was like
they had a lot of different things. I mean the Lord of Light?
Yeah.
The Red Lady.
They had a bunch of stuff going on.
A bunch of things going on. The White Walkers were coming into play.
Yeah.
It was really interesting and it was really good.
So I want to get back to like defending the seasons after we're done with the episode though.
Yeah.
But like that council, so Tyrion somehow it was able to control this entire meeting, even though Grey Worm said you're not allowed to talk. And then he tells Grey Worm, you have no jurisdiction here because it's happening in King's Landing, and all you guys are doing is you guys are just in control of the city. You don't have any power here.
The girl was like,
okay.
Yeah, he didn't even fight it. It's like, well, you know what? It also came into play that there was enough time for the North and the surrounding kingdoms to gather.
Bro, if freaking like if
but 5 weeks,
yeah,
that's all it took.
No, I'm just guessing 5 weeks, but it probably took longer than that.
No, but you see what I mean? Like,
there's no time.
Yeah.
But like, let's just say this: who you putting your money on? 1,000? Like, cause they were basically the Unsullied and the Dothraki. They had a respawn point in King's Landing. We thought they were all dead at freaking
the Dothraki.
We thought there was none left, but for some reason they respawned. They had thousands and thousands. Dude, who you taking? Freaking the Northmen, or like fresh Dothraki and Unsullied? Like, come on! Like, so I was like, Sansa.
So many.
It's like if those two sides came to war, Sansa's side would have lost. I did not like that threat that she made. She was like, well, we have 1,000 Northmen that want Jon free. Okay, so you know what you're up against, really. The Unsullied and Dothraki, they would slaughter the North.
No, yeah.
It would be a bloodbath. And then Yara and the Greyjoys, the Iron Islands was on Daenerys' side. She was upset that Jon was still alive.
Yeah, that was odd that.
Because to me it came down to. Yeah, everybody is part of that kingdom, but at the end of the day, you protect your own, and what happens over here happens over here. So when Daenerys attacked freaking King's Landing, Yara wasn't like upset with her because Yara is part of the Iron Islands. Daenerys didn't do that to her people, So that's why she was just like, a tyrant was on the throne. She took care of the tyrant.
Yeah.
And Yara wasn't there to see what really happened. So she's probably like, whatever. And the Prince of Dorne was already on Daenerys' side too. So you would have had the Unsullied, the Dothraki, most likely Yara, and most likely the Dorne versus Winterfell. Like I didn't like that empty threat. That was a dumb threat. And that's what Sansa's been doing this entire the last 2 seasons is just dumb threats. The only thing that she brought is the veil. In the Battle of the Bastards, she's got the veil to come. That's it.
Yeah.
So the fallout from that is basically, how'd you feel about Jon? The outcome of that. Okay. Oh, I almost skipped over. Like,
you can't skip over that. That's when that's the whole conversation.
Okay. So
There was one line in that will come up, but basically Tyrion's pitching the ideas. What do we do here? Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" And then they're like, "We don't even have a king to respond." Everyone's like, "I don't know what you need to respond to. Like, we're gonna kill John." And then for some reason they haven't killed him. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
But
Like
you're gonna kill him and when?
You want to kill him, but you're gonna wait till imaginary council to kill him.
Like what? He's like, why do I need counsel? But like at the same time, it's like, why'd you wait all this time?
Why'd you wait?
It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, he just nods in agreement, like, okay, fine, go ahead and choose your leader. You choose your king or whatever. And then, so they're all like going through window, and Sam's like, oh, maybe we could have a democracy. And then they're all like, that's a terrible idea.
Really? Shut up, fat boy.
Yeah, who's that fat guy?
Shut up, fat boy.
I know. They're like, what? What does that mean?
They really were laughing hard.
It's probably a terrible idea. No one had any education back then.
It would be like King's Landing. You'd have like freaking all those idiots, the Northmen, and freaking everybody. Like John was one of the smartest people in the North.
That's saying a
like
lot.
That says a lot. Like John literally is like one of the smartest people in the North. And you want people like them voting?
I think literally all the Starks are stupid, bro.
I think it's just a history of idiots.
I think everyone in the North is retarded.
I think it's just
because
But because Ned's an idiot too. Like
they're all hella dumb.
They're all dumb.
Everyone has no education in the North. They cannot tell anything.
They're all dumb. They're just dumb, but they're honest people.
You have no honor.
You have no honor. Like they teach honor in the North. They don't teach. They don't teach math. There's no math. I've never seen John count before.
Literature.
There's nothing. They learn honor. Honor 101.
They had to have what's her name? Their mother.
Oh,
she was the one who read everything.
Cat. What is her? Catelyn.
Catelyn, yeah.
Catelyn Stock or Catelyn Tully or whatever. I don't even. So proposed democracy that gets shut down probably for a good reason. And then for some reason they look for a king.
Yeah. And we need to choose a king here.
Out of you powerful people.
And then that dude stands up and wastes like 5 minutes saying random gibberish.
Of more time.
He's like, I was here, and I was here, and I was here, and I think. And Sansa's like, just sit your ass down before I get up and smack you.
I was like,
and I was like, thank goodness.
I felt bad. You got clowned by Sansa, and she was like,
in
front of everybody.
Everyone's like, yeah, sit down.
Sansa's like 18, bro.
Dude.
Or 20. She's like 20 years old.
That's her uncle.
Yeah, that's her uncle. She's like, sit down, uncle. And then even Arya was like giving that smile, like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, damn, this dude's an uber goober.
And then they're all like, oh, well, who can we choose? And then Tyrion looks at Bran.
Oh, my God.
Fucking useless ass, weird ass, creepy Bran sitting there watching everybody with his freaking third eye raven eyes. That doesn't even do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
You ever see, like, those people who make fun of magicians and like try to make people act surprised, like, look, and it's like the wrong shit. That's exactly what Bran is, dude.
Bran is horrible.
He's the most useless magician ever.
He's horrible, man. So
the last thing he did before that was getting those freaking birds that just like got crushed or whatever.
So I've been saying this whole time he was watching Endgame, but no, this whole entire time he was watching the events that were set in stone. That when he said I have to go now, I think he was looking at the future of like King's Landing and stuff like that.
Maybe that's for the better, but it'd be better if it was in the fucking show.
I don't know.
Because that one thing they tell Bran, he's just like, I don't want it. And then Tyrion's like, well,
yeah,
we need you.
I don't want anymore. I live in the past.
That was so stupid.
He just said I live in the past. But when Tyrion has him be king, he says, why do you think I came down here?
That line made me so... He was like, if we choose you to wear the crown, will you wear it? And he's like, why do you think I came all this way?
Bro,
and then
he smiled, bro.
He
He probably fucking thought
Dude,
that line was so fire in his head.
dude, in my head, I was gonna stop. I was gonna stop the episode, and I was gonna leave. I was pretty sure I was done. I was like, I can't handle this,
Bro, he just like it was 3 days
he
ago.
made me so mad, dude.
3 days ago, he told Tyrion, "I live in the past. I
I
don't
was
want
like,
anything."
That's retarded.
How
I
do
was
you-
so mad.
How do you contradict yourself like that? Okay, so first he said
Why do
he's
you
the
think
guy.
I came
So he's
all
looking in the
this
future.
way?
So he's in the future.
Bran is so stupid.
And bro, he probably thought that line was so fire. He said, "Why do you think I can't?" He's like, "I can't wait till Tyrion asks me this question." He said, "It's coming."
It's
Because
coming.
he was sitting there with freaking.
Yeah, dude, he was just
He
like,
said, "It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
coming
It's coming."
in his chair.
He was in the wheelchair. He's like, "Why do you think
Why
I
do
came
you
here?
think I came all this way for?
Why do you think I came out of bed?"
He should have done like this. Wiggle his head a little bit. You know,
I hate Brand.
that's exactly how it sounded.
Yeah, forgive
I
Brand.
was so mad, bro.
Forgive Brand.
I was like, I can't believe they did this. I was so mad that HBO let that happen, dude.
Okay, like
And then I look at all the people who are so like, they're like, if this, if you want a happy ending, you're not paying attention. Like, yeah, you were paying attention because it's exactly what you get. Everybody lives happily ever after.
Oh, okay. No, but wait, hold on. Let's get to that. Wait till we get to the end. Okay, so then, so they decide. After that's done, Tyrion goes into there and he talks to Jon. He's like, "We're gonna send you to Castle Black." And then Jon was a fan. He was the fans watching the show. He said, "There's still a night watch." Even when the dumbest character on the show is able to call out the plot,
Still a night watch.
he's like, "What?" John was shocked.
He was like, when did they write that?
He said, "What?" Kit Harington, the actor, was like, I think that was all improv. He was like,
yeah, he was probably like,
"There's still a night watch."
He probably wasn't ready, but it was just like the best like into it moment they had. So
Mhm.
like, let's just run with it.
Just go.
Like we got this far.
He probably originally John was supposed to say, "It would be an honor to serve in a night's watch. I thank you for
he would just
allowing
bow
me,
his head.
and thank you, Tyrion." But Kit Harington couldn't hold it in. He was like, "There's still." He's like, "This script is trash." He's like, "This is trash.
Show is trash.
This show is trash."
What if like it just went into a rant and he breaks the fourth wall, and he's just like, "I'm not an idiot. I hate this show.
I hate this
I
show.
was supposed to be the one true king.
I was supposed to," like he started going down the list. I was supposed to kill the Night King. I was supposed to
They
do
made
this.
me kill this my love of my life."
They killed the.
He's like crying. And,
Oh
like,
man,
screaming.
that's what that kind of hurt me again because like he even said it. He said it when they walked in. He was like, "Did I do the right?" He's still like questioning if he did the right thing, which made me feel bad because he just sitting in that cell and that's all he's thinking about is he killed Daenerys. I'm just like this episode put me back on the Jon team because I was just like this episode he got screwed over so hard. It was not even. It's not like you said. Happy ending. Everybody got a happy ending unless you're a Targaryen. Like he got screwed over so bad. So like we get to the point where everybody's going their separate ways, right? Grey Worm for some reason is going to Narth or going someplace. I don't know why. Oh yeah, another thing. Davos is fucked up. Davos said, "We got the Reach. It's real nice land. Why don't you settle there and create your own houses?" And it's like, Davos, these dudes don't have dicks.
Yeah, for real.
I was like, Davos, what is wrong with you?
For real.
That's just more writing. Like, Davos, stop.
Dude.
That's like a one generation house. They just die off. Like they're gonna just be old dudes in just cutting wood. Yeah. But there's gonna be old freaking black dudes and just that's just stupid. But like okay, so like this like the separation, like what do you think about the Sansa Jon Bran separation? That pissed me off, to tell you the truth.
I don't see what the point of all of it was if that fool left anyway.
They all left at the same time.
They didn't even want to stay there. None of them stayed.
But like check this out. Sansa asked Jon to forgive him. And he doesn't forgive her.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't forgive her. Like, so like, cause he, like, it's her fault.
Dude, she is the reason that Daenerys is dead.
It's her fault.
She knew that it was gonna play out that way.
It's like it's because he said like he even like I honestly think it was even more of an insult because John says something. He says, well, the North finally has their queen
Yeah.
because he knows that's what she wanted all along too.
And you know what? It was not right because she knew doing what she did, and even Daenerys knew it before she snapped. She was like, as soon as like she's gonna use it against you,
Mm-hmm.
and she did.
She did.
She used it against him, and but not in the way that she thought or he thought.
Yeah.
It ended up being like him killing her because she did say, man, she meant it. Like she was like, I'm taking it all.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's in the way, blood and fire, baby.
She's like, I tried. I've tried. Like in Daenerys' mind, she's like, I've tried.
I've tried so much to make them like me.
Since last season. I've tried.
Yeah,
I've tried.
She's too stubborn.
And then we had talked about last episode that was a message to Sansa, and she did mention she was going to liberate Winterfell.
It made me so mad because I thought about like the other characters that meant a lot to me, like Jorah,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean even Missandei.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like, damn, they died just so Queen could get stabbed in the heart.
Yeah, man.
And that killed me, man.
Yeah, let's finish. Let's just wrap up everything that happened in this episode, and we can get back on like our final our real reactions. But like when John like hugged Sansa didn't even cry.
No, dude, she was just happy.
She was just
like, I got everything I wanted.
She got everything I wanted, and John's not gonna die. And then Arya, that was the real like. I was like, damn, because check this out, John invited Arya to Castle Black sometimes.
Yeah.
He said you can visit Castle Black. He didn't say it to Sansa. I think that's telling. Like he does not forgive her.
Yeah, he does not want to see her anymore.
They were never like. I want to put this out. They were never close in the first place.
Yeah.
The only reason why they came together is because crazy circumstances.
You know, that's true.
Crazy like Sansa is like an extension of Cass. So you know Sansa treated John like shit.
Like shit, yeah.
The only reason why they're together is crazy. So if Ned didn't die, if none of this happened, she'd be probably talking shit about John as being a bastard. That's the only thing that brought them together was just crazy circumstances. So I wouldn't even say that they're really close. And it showed like they couldn't even if she couldn't as an actor, she couldn't cry. They could like gave her some drops or something like that. But they didn't bother to because it's a manufactured relationship.
Littlefinger put tension between them too.
He did.
And then that's when John threatened him.
He did.
He was like, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
like,
no, but that was the only victory I got was that John didn't forgive her. I mean, he hugged her, but like I just was like, Sansa's a piece of crap, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
They all left, and they were within.
Do you care about Arya going to the west of Westeros?
Dude, to give someone so much attention in such a important, probably arguably the most important journey, like that you're supposed to become something more.
Mm-hmm.
To beef her story up so much, and then I mean all the way up until like they, that episode where they're actually taking the castle,
mm-hmm.
and the dragon is freaking blowing fire all over everything, and I mean, they take the castle. I don't think we even talked about that, did we?
Talk about what?
About the episode before that?
Did we talk about it?
I don't think we did. But anyways, they take the castle, and up until freaking the Hound dies,
mm-hmm.
like they made her journey seem so important. Mm-hmm. She gets on the white horse for some reason, rides out the gate, jumps off, comes back in, all the way up until the point where she leaves, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and travel west past the map where the maps stop." It's like, what was this all about, man? What happened to the man? The many-faced god.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
So I mean, we're pretty much done with it. We're done talking about it. Only thing I want to say, last thing I want to say before we talk, just breaking down our disappointment with the show is Well, I hated, my heart hated so much that the true heir to the throne, Jon, had to bow down to freaking Bran.
Weird ass
That made me,
brand,
he had to
dude.
bow down and say, Your Grace.
That was so terrible.
That pissed me off I was angry when that happened. Like,
If that had happened at a different point in the show before the end, it would not be understandable, but it would be like, okay, I think I know what they're doing here. But to end it on that note, it's like it's not humbling. It's wrong.
he should have pushed Bran into the water and be like, yeah,
It's
swim now. Get out the lake, King, Your Grace.
it's wrong, dude. What they did to John.
Okay, so we just recap Game of Thrones. Basically, Arya goes west. Bran is the king. He has his little bootsy ass dumb council.
The last scene.
Bro, that pissed me off so much.
Last scene where they're like, everybody's there.
Everybody got what they wanted.
Yeah.
Little council of happy dreams.
And they're like, we're gonna go ahead and rebuild the brothels. Oh.
So I was like, oh, that's so funny.
And then Brad's like, I have to go. I'm going to find Drogon.
Bro, you know how fucking mad that makes me? That the one time that he's gonna warg into a fucking dragon,
he does it
off screen at the
very end.
At the end, it's like, oh, I wonder what Drogon's doing. Let me see if I can find him. Why? Why does it even matter at that point?
He could have done it at any point.
Okay, well, we just recapped the entire episode. Jon's the king of the wildlings now, so it's just everybody's
he didn't even want to be a knight, so he's just like, I'm just gonna go.
He just left.
Like, I'm just done with this whole place.
Like, hopefully he finds a nice redhead over there, and he just, he's able to settle down and have a good life in the snow. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about our disappointments. Okay. So this segment is going to be disappointments, and it's going to just throw out anything. I think the biggest thing that we both have talked about since Sunday, and even beyond that, is what is the point of everything that was brought up in this show? What is the point of Arya having the many faces, going to the many face god?
It makes me think back to different points where they put things in and it never even talked about it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the babies.
Yeah. Where are the babies at?
What did the Night King do with all the babies? I think I said something like, oh, that he's making other Night Kings, so when he dies, he's just another Night King.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just cloning himself or whatever. I mean, that'd be cool, but they don't even mention it after that.
Okay, so there was leaks for this last episode, and there was leaks for episode 5 and episode 6. The leaks were pretty much 100% true. There was a leak for this episode that after this whole thing, everything went according to the leaks, but they were missing one piece in this episode. So apparently, Jon and Tormund was supposed to take the wildlings out into the forest, right?
Yeah.
They get to this point in the forest, and then they see fresh bodies in that spiral, like fresh bodies. So it's supposed to be like the Night King is still. It's supposed to be like the cycle is gonna continue, or another 1,000 years or something like that. The Night King's not dead.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be in this episode. So I don't know why they didn't put it in, or if the leaks were just wrong on that one point. But I don't think they'd be wrong because they were pretty much 100% for like episode 5 and episode 6. So they're missing. They didn't have the spirals on there. So the White Walkers are really dead. So, I brought that up because I was thinking when you brought up the babies, I was like, maybe the babies are there for like, his immediate reincarnation, but hey, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
What happened to those babies? I guess
they died.
They're dead.
They just died.
As soon as they returned to Night King babies.
You know the disappointing thing about the White Walkers is because, when Craster was sacrificing his baby to the Night Walkers, you thought that there was another level of intelligence that they had, that they was able to make this deal. Like that Craster was able to say, hey, I'm going to give you baby boys if you don't attack us. There has to be some type of communication happening between the White Walkers and that guy.
Yeah, they don't really explain that.
They don't explain that because everything I've seen from the
That's such a key component to the show because it has so much to do with Sam.
Yeah, like how come? Yeah, I thought the Night Walker is gonna keep on coming after his baby, because that baby, little Sam, is owed to the Night King.
I guess not.
I guess when they took him, he just didn't care. So it just didn't matter. Also, like we talked about, Arya is learning all these skills. That didn't matter either because
Yeah, the many faces. She can change faces.
she can change faces. Change faces.
Doesn't matter. She doesn't even do it after she slits that dude's throat.
Yeah, she just needed it for Walder Frey. That's it. That's all she needed it for.
Yeah.
And then so it didn't make sense. I mean, it made at the time it made sense, but it's just not. It's just for nothing. It was just like, oh, well, we got like 7 seasons. Let's just send Arya over here so she can learn something. We don't know what to do with these characters. Let's do this. And so it's just, to me, the biggest disappointment for me is you brought Jon back to life just so he could fall in love with it. So that was so he could fall in love with Daenerys. That's why Jon was brought back to life.
And then kill her.
I guess he was just so she can get her dragons. I guess Jon was brought back to life. Just I guess what I'm guessing is if someone was to say Jon was brought back to life so he can get the battle, get the location for the battle, and get the people to come to the battle.
Yeah.
Because he had to fight for Winterfell. Winterfell is where the battle took place. If Ramsay was there, him and Ramsay and Daenerys wouldn't have worked out because Daenerys probably just would have attacked him. She just would have attacked him, and then after she was done attacking him, she would have just went to King's Landing.
Yeah.
So I get that was Jon's role in this. It was nothing like, oh, I'm gonna stop the Night King. His entire role in the show was set up. And I guess he killed Daenerys. I still find that to be bullshit, so I don't give him credit for that. Even he knows that's bullshit.
Yeah. I just think what's so disappointing is like how they led this battle to be up to where like, oh, they're gonna ring the bells for surrender. And like she knew she could have did it the whole time, but she didn't because they needed her and the people. She won the battle in an instant.
Ooh, it was
so quick. And if she had 3 dragons, I mean, she won.
She had 3 dragons, and they didn't have any scorpions at that level that can kill a dragon yet.
Yeah, they weren't even ready.
She didn't even need an army.
She could have just flew right there with the dragons and be like, surrender. Before they had Missandei. Before any of that.
And then it just...
And they could have took their army from the Lannisters and went straight to fight the Night King in the same amount of time they took.
Well, it's just Tyrion's fault. Because Tyrion was the one that suggested that they get a white and bring it to Cersei.
It was such a waste of time. That fool was just trying to protect his sister.
So he was just trying to protect them. He wanted Cersei to see the white and understand what they were up against, so she would surrender. And he wanted her to see Daenerys' dragons up close so that she could surrender.
She pretty much, dude, I think about all the decisions that were made.
It was bad decisions.
Terrible counsel.
Terrible. And they get rewarded for it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And if you really think about it, when I was watching it, Daenerys was questioning him at every step. You're just doing that because you're protecting your family.
You know what?
She was right.
She was right.
She was right. It's bro, if I was counseling somebody, I wanted to take the throne from somebody, and I know this person's evil, and I know this person has 3 dragons. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say just take it over, and then show the people that you're good.
Yeah,
she was like,
done that.
They were on that. Oh, if you're in a foreign invader attacking with a foreign army, no one's gonna feel safe with you. Well, let's see when we get there. We all know Daenerys was a good person. I still say she's a good person.
She didn't even need the Norsemen.
She didn't need anybody. Jon was like, you need Northmen because you need people from this continent to fight for you. She didn't need that.
Yeah.
She took that down with Drogon on beefed up security. If Drogon alone could have like destroyed King's Landing, if they even have beefed up security, and you're telling me Viserion and Rhaegal, they would have just been adding extra support.
It would have been over,
It would have
dude.
been over, and then like you said, they would have had more resources to then go to the north,
And more time.
and honestly, the reason
And
why
he would have
he would
never
have a
even,
dragon.
yeah, he would never even have a dragon.
Wouldn't even have a dragon.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't even have a dragon.
That is insane. This is all Tyrion's fault.
It's literally Tyrion's fault. He suggested
he's one of
it.
my favorite characters too. I can't believe that he just because. Oh man, he wouldn't have never even got to the wall in a long time, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then even in that whole thing, like when they travel that far deep to get to where the White Walkers were, they had Gendry run all the way back, and Gendry made it there in like 2 hours.
Got full sprint.
He sprinted for 2 hours and got there.
Dude, the whole time. The whole time they spent going back and forth and mining for dragon glass and getting it there and building, all the time they spent, they could have had King's Landing. Daenerys would still have her dragon. If they were going to do a happy ending, that could have been it. And it would be way better. And people would be like, wow, that was good.
Honestly.
And they could have ended it with the Night King. And Night King could have killed all 3 dragons. Fuck it.
I would have been fine.
And I would have been like,
I honestly think, I actually agree. I honestly think it should have been a point where they got Cersei taken care of. And then it was really, because it wasn't a battle of the living. It was a battle of Daenerys' forces in the north versus the army of the dead.
Yeah,
that's not everyone was invested.
No battle in for when she took there was no battle, dude.
No, but I'm talking about with the Night King. It was built up as a battle of the living and the dead.
Yeah,
it wasn't a battle of the living and the dead. It was a battle of Daenerys' forces and Jon in the north. The north and Daenerys' forces versus the dead.
Yeah,
and I just feel like this. They didn't even talk about does other people know? You're the North made this big sacrifice and nobody knows. Because people are gonna be like, that's fake. We didn't see anything.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just and then I wanted to I felt like they should have had the scene where the other lords apologized to Jon. Because Jon was put up through so much shit after that. Right after he beat the Night King, they should have all those generals that were remember they were questioning him and they were saying Sansa should be the ruler. The North was upset with Jon. They should have had some type of people we apologize for. We should have trusted you from the get-go. You knew what you were doing. He didn't even he got no satisfaction throughout this whole entire show.
Yeah, dude.
And people were saying, oh, if you want a happy ending, you don't know Game of Thrones. Well, if this was the bad ending, I'd rather have a happy ending.
Yeah, dude.
And basically everybody got a happy ending. Except for you're a Targaryen.
Dude. I don't know, man.
I just feel it's
it was disappointing the way that the dialogue. There was a couple good moments, but for the most part, it was trash. I mean, it was happy-go-lucky. I think I told you, it's they the writers quit and they hired a high school drama club because that's what it was. It was bad, and whoever is just terrible. I feel like I'm not, I wouldn't sign the petition to redo it because at this point I'm are they really gonna spend the time and resources to make it? And it's probably not even gonna be good then.
Yeah, they're not.
Because it's just a fixing a mistake type deal.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. At this point, it's
it
was a good show for what it was. The ending wasn't so good. They Dextered themselves. They did a harder Dexter than Dexter. They double Dextered. They double Dextered themselves, man.
So Kit Harington, the actor that plays Jon Snow, and Sophie Turner, the actor that plays Sansa, they've come out and they've been against that petition.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Their biggest thing was they both talked about how what's that? They're well, a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into that, and they feel disrespected that people are coming up with a petition for that Game of Thrones. They're upset with that petition.
I don't really care. what they think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like them as actors, but
Don't care about him as Pearson.
as far as petitions go, like, I mean, just because there's a petition doesn't mean anything.
Like,
they're not the government. Like, they don't have to.
like I understand them. I understand where they're going because they're saying that, like the cast, the producers, and all that, they put a lot of work into it. But it's like nobody's chastising you guys.
Yeah, it's
People
not
are,
about you. It's
not
about the plot.
the
Like,
plot. Like,
you guys are
writers.
excellent actors.
No, I have no. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
I
bad.
love the actors from
Like,
that show.
I feel bad for them because you guys had to work with like a subpar plot. Like
Pretty much. That's what I'm saying. Like, they've always been good. Like, good part. Like, they've always played to the best of their ability, and it's always been really good for most of them.
Yeah.
And it's not. That's what I was interested in. It's like, it's the story. Like, you did your part amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Bran. I say he's weird, but like, Bran throughout the whole part, he's very like stoic, and he's been very engaged in his role. And like,
but we know why.
but now like you have this ending that doesn't fit the character.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit the actor. It doesn't fit the story, and it's like it's all these red flags, and that's why everyone wants to sign a petition. Like, obviously, it's too late now. In my opinion, it is what it is. But like, in terms of what they could have done in hindsight and how I feel about it, like, yeah, dude, I understand why people want to sign a petition. People love Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
People, they think this is like the best show that ever existed.
I'd have to honestly. I'd have to say, for me, I mean, it's up there.
It's on my list.
I gotta have to sit down.
I would get excited when this show would come on, and I did too. Even for the last one, even though I was disappointed the episode before that, I was still like, all right, let's watch it.
Yeah, for that.
I was so engaged, and I didn't even like, I didn't pause or like go to. I didn't none of that. I didn't even look at my phone, man. I was just like watching the show.
I'm not gonna lie, for the last 6 weeks, Game of Thrones was on my mind every day of this last 6 weeks.
At least at some point.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh, Game of Thrones. But like at some point, I was thinking about it because I would text you about a conspiracy theory.
I'll ask people. You see the last episode?
Yeah.
What'd you think, man? And then I'll talk about theories of people,
mm-hmm.
like random people, like people that walk in to buy stuff at my job or my supervisors or
mm-hmm.
coworkers. I mean, it's like a hot topic, dude. Like,
yeah. So
people are talking about it. It's trending, you know?
Yeah. So and I was just driving today and I was thinking about it. I was like, it's just that it's okay. So first of all, when any show that people are invested in, it goes off air, it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's even more sad. It's just sad because everything that happens is final. There's nothing coming back.
Yeah.
So it's just sad when you go on a note that's so disappointing from a standpoint as far as the writing. Because I don't think people are upset with how it turns out. Like, I'm not upset that Dany is the Mad Queen. I'm upset because they gave us no reason for her to be the Mad Queen. And even John says it at one point. He says, "Do you think we're just born into our house and we're marked with whatever we behave however our house is, whatever house we're born into, we act accordingly?" And he was like, "Then I shouldn't be king because I'm a Targaryen. I'm gonna be mad too." And it was just like, and that's true. Like, and that's what the writers want us to believe. Jon's a Stark, so he's gonna behave honorably. Daenerys is a Targaryen, so she's gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they want us to believe.
No, yeah, I see what you mean, man. They create a stereotype and they try to follow it,
mm-hmm.
and ends up being true, but then it's not true. I mean, I don't get it.
Honestly, I can't, because I can't accept the ending. I just can't. You can't tell me that Daenerys, who spent 6 seasons freeing slaves and killing bad people, killing men, not children.
Yeah.
Dany locked up her dragons when she found out that a kid was killed by her dragons. Yeah. One kid. And it was like, anybody else would have gone off and like just said, completely disregarded it. Jaime pushed Bran off the tower and for the intention of killing him and just kept it pushing. But Dany was like, I gotta lock up my children because someone died at their hands and I can't control them. So I'm not gonna buy that she's gonna turn just because people freaking Tormund and the idiots in the north like Jon riding a dragon. You're telling me like Daenerys is that shallow? It's like you said, it's just high school. It's like high school, and then like Sansa has no reason not to like Daenerys, hates her, and why? It's because she's jealous of John's with her. That's what I felt like. I was like, yeah, this is kind of weird. That's like your brother, supposedly, and you're jealous. You're that jealous. Like that's just high school. That's like low level writing. Oh, but like, and then they're like, okay, but Sansa was right. It was her woman intuition. It was her dealing with people like you did. Like you dealt with people like Cersei and Ramsay.
Yeah.
None, they were not like Daenerys.
No, yeah, they weren't.
Like you can't Littlefinger. That's not Daenerys.
It's not. It's not.
It's like you have no experience with Daenerys. You don't know what she's done. You just don't like her.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
It is stupid.
It is bad writing, and they didn't give, like you said, they didn't give any reasons. That I think that's what shows it. I think that's what's setting off all these red flags with everybody. It's just like if you can explain it somehow later, that's one point. But when you leave all these things unexplained, like there's just too many things that it's not like they were just, I mean, granted there's a lot of minor things, even the baby thing can be considered minor, I guess. But when it's like, okay, like the thing with Daenerys and Sansa, like that's something that's not minor.
It's huge.
That's huge. And the thing with the way they made Daenerys mad, and she did this and this and this, and then they make Jon kill her, and then Jon doesn't get anything out of it, and somehow he's a prisoner, even though all the other stuff right there, all the missing things that they're just skipping to around, it makes it hard to really understand. Like it makes it hard to, because that's how we think, man. Things affect our cause and effect. When there's no cause and all we have is effects, it's like we don't understand. That's what I feel like it is. I feel like there's no from point A to B. It's just like we're here.
Yeah.
But we don't know whether it's A or B. It's just.
And that's, I'm glad you brought that up, because Sophie Turner, I keep on saying the actor that plays Sansa.
Yeah.
She tried to say fans shouldn't be upset with the show because it had an ending that they didn't like. She was like, in season 1, Ned Stark died in season 1. And it's just what this show does. Big characters die.
Yeah,
but that's like a that's a bad argument. That's
way different.
That's a fallacy, or that's just a bad nonsensical argument, because we saw why Ned Stark died.
There was a reason why
he died, because he was an idiot.
He died because he tried to. Well, let's even follow their plot that they wanted the effect. He died because he was too honorable.
He was too honorable when he was trying to like expose Cersei for sleeping with her brother
in front of everybody who doesn't trust him.
Yeah, and then he was trying to make like Stannis be the true king. If he would have probably just shut up.
But that added to the plot.
Yeah, but because that was who he is as a character.
Yeah, there was so many things that tied it in that made sense.
They laid the foundation for Ned Stark's honor
before that.
So even when that happened, you're like, Ned's not gonna lie.
Yeah, like it sucks because you knew he's like, damn.
He's not gonna lie.
He's probably gonna get executed.
He's gonna die.
The whole time it was like, I hope he doesn't, but I think he's gonna get killed.
He's like, I don't know him that well, but I'm pretty sure he's an honorable guy.
Yeah. Like you like the character. What's his name? Sean Bean.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good actor. I mean, freaking you. It was like people were pissed, but they weren't pissed because, like they could understand why he died. Everyone knew why he died.
Mm-hmm.
But like they just do. It's like this last season. They just have all these things happen, and you can tell they had a general idea, but they rushed it, and they whatever reason they tried to finish it up. I don't know why, but it made terrible writing.
It just didn't.
It made terrible writing. It's disappointing, and most people I've talked to, like everyone's like, oh, it's a good show. Like, you need to show respect. No, fuck that.
No.
I don't need to show anything.
No, like I respect the show as a whole, but if I'm disappointed with the 8th season.
This is a show for experts, then why the fuck didn't it start out that way?
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's why I hate. That's the argument I hear. Well, you take you some literature expert. Do you watch a bunch of theater? Like, no, dude. I watch TV shows that I like.
No,
But usually they make sense. Even I don't know if you watch. I don't think you watch Walking Dead.
I do. I'm not current, but I know
So
Walking
the
Dead's.
current, even then in the past, like they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they borrowed from Game of Thrones, no lie. But at the same time, like they still give reasons.
Yeah,
They still give foundation. Like most good shows that are still airing, that are they they set it up. If it's a good show,
yeah.
even Dexter at the end, which I thought was a trash ending,
Mm-hmm.
on par with this.
Like that. Yeah, you're right. That expert com is
It's
bullshit.
so ridiculous. It's
Because
like,
like,
well, you don't understand what it takes. But dude, what are you talking? I'm not here to critique the production. I'm here to critique the actual story.
and then
Like
you're
you're not.
allowed to critique his story.
Yeah, if it's shit, it's shit. It's like you're telling me that like I need to watch the news, and if the news decides that they don't want to do news, and what they do, they want to give me a whole opinion from whoever the fuck it is, like that's news, and then I just need to accept it. No, dude, that's an opinion. Like when you're talking about one thing, that's one thing, but when you're actually presenting
Mm-hmm.
what's there, what is, that's different.
Yeah, I'm completely agreeing with you. I'm
Because I
just
hate these people who I have these friends that are like, you need to stop. It was a good show and it was a good ending and it made a lot of sense.
because they're casual.
And then I tell them like, are you? I didn't tell them, but I brought it up with someone. I was like, okay, are you saying that because you actually like the ending, or but just because like you thought overall was a good production? Oh well, it tied in and it made sense, and I thought the ending was okay. I'm like, see, the fact that you think the ending is okay and you didn't think like, oh wow, that show was, like you have to admit it wasn't consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it wasn't consistent, but you could see the point where they were trying to make. It's like I'm not, I didn't watch it to see the point made. I wanted to see how the story tied in. I've been tagging along this long, and it just doesn't fit. It's like with I was gonna say even with Dexter, when his sister for some stupid reason gets shot,
Mm-hmm.
when he just could have killed the dude, he doesn't kill him, and then he's like one of the worst villains ever. He's just like Dexter. He's like his more evil
Yeah,
version of him,
yeah,
and so he he decides he's just not gonna kill him. Dude shoots his sister of all things, and the sister gets sick. No, the sister gets shot. She's getting surgery. She's okay. Something goes wrong. There's complications. It's a hurricane. She dies.
let me grab
She's
this. Let me grab her.
Let me grab her.
Throw her on a boat.
But even before that, he kills the villain. He just goes straight to the fucking police precinct, and he sees her. He stabs a dude in the heart, no, in the throat with a pen, which was hardcore. But at the same time, it was like, what? Like, like, why did you just kill him the first time? And this whole time, you're like, I can't deny who I am. I'm trying so hard, and he sends his kid off with some stranger.
He sends his kid off
who's
with
a
serial
murderer
killer.
who poisons people.
A serial poisoner.
What if she decides like, I can't take care of a
Can't
kid?
do this kid stuff anymore.
He didn't even ask her if
Yeah, so she goes with a serial poisoner, and then he just takes his sister on a boat and just drives off into a hurricane.
Yeah, and then somehow he ends up in fucking Canada, trying to be like Wolverine, fucking lumberjack,
supplying the redwood, the Bearable redwood.
Dexter works in the lumberyard that gets the wood I sell.
Yeah, he supplies the 2x6 and the Doug fir and the fencing. Dexter gets all that.
Honestly.
So would you say this ending? So you're saying this ending is on par with Dexter? You're saying it's lower than Dexter's?
I think they may have double Dextered.
I would say.
I think the longer it goes, the longer it is that the longer time passes, the more Dexterish it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I think they could have made this better for me if Jon died as well. I think Jon had to die. If you're gonna kill Daenerys in this manner, I think Jon.
It all felt so unnecessary to have him be a prisoner and then just like not die. I guess.
I feel like
it felt necessary for Tyrion to be alive.
Yeah,
it felt necessary like Why did they like? I feel like there's some conversation that was had that we didn't get to see.
It
That we're
was.
missing out.
So that's a key. That's an excellent point that you brought up. I really felt like there is a complete episode for this.
Yeah,
There is a complete episode that
yeah.
that might get put out on a Blu-ray that they're trying to sell. Or I honestly feel like there's going to be a DVD exclusive version of probably everything. I think
Alternate ending.
there's probably going to be
Alternate season 8.
because they shot multiple endings, but I feel like specifically for the episode 6, just to sell DVDs or Blu-rays, there's going to be a completed version. I know there is, because there was it just felt like we didn't see the part where, you know, John talks to Grey Worm. We didn't see the part.
We didn't see the part after
where everyone finds out what happened.
Yeah,
like, that was like.
And how are they not dead? I don't understand that.
Oh, how does
Grey Worm and Jon Snow are not best friends. They're not friends at all. I don't think.
Bro, there was beef. Grey Worm had beef with John Wall going back to when they were at the council during episode 5, and like they're like, John was like, okay, our troops would go here, ours would go here. Grey Worm walked past or kind of moved past John to move his pieces on the board, and they both like looked at each other like, what the fuck, bro? So Grey Worm does not like John. There's no reason why John should be alive.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
We needed to see one fight. We didn't get to see one one-on-one fight this season. John owes Grey Worm the fair one. There should have been a trial by Tyrion should have had a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Somebody should have had a trial by combat. John should have been like, when they were like discussing his life, he should have said, I want to speak up about my own life. He should have been like, I've died before. I've done my part in the world. I've killed the person that I love. I don't have any reason to be here anymore. That would have broke everyone's heart. If John would have said something like, I've died before. I was given a second life. That second life was used to kill the one person in this world that I love. I can't live no more.
Yeah.
That would have probably made Stoneface Sansa cry, because this would have been her fault. There should have been more guilt placed on Sansa.
Yeah, dude.
Like everybody just got what the fuck they
She's
wanted.
wrong, bro.
Like that's just like everybody.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and I think I'll never will unless I see one of those Blu-ray edition endings.
It's gonna be the alternate.
What makes me mad is I don't want to buy it, but I know I'm probably going to.
I'm gonna have to
if they make it. I'm gonna have to buy it.
If they tell me they got the exclusive, I'm gonna get it. But I was telling my brother, like, all these people named their daughter Daenerys and stuff before she burned down King's Landing. Because I don't believe in this ending. I'm gonna name my daughter Daenerys. Everybody's gonna be like, when did you name her Daenerys? I'm gonna be like, 2019. They're gonna be like, was that before episode 5?
No.
During.
When I watched her burn the city.
While I watched her burn it down, I said, yep, that's the name of my daughter. She's gonna be the last Daenerys in this world.
I'm gonna name my daughter Cersei.
Oh dang, that's a little. You better watch out for those rocks. Yeah, so
always look above.
So should I share my alternate ending to the world?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it, because I think I texted it to you. So, okay, so here's my alternate ending to the Game of Thrones. It's not even an alternate ending. So Dany doesn't die, because Drogon has super intelligence, because he knows that the Game of Thrones, that throne is the epitome of everything bad that's happened for his family.
Yeah.
So he or she grabs Dany, and this super intelligent dragon flies to Essos, because there's another red woman there. That red woman is going to bring Dany back to life.
Yeah.
Turns out Dany's also pregnant. Dany's going to raise that son. Grows him up. That Drogon's also pregnant. Drogon's going to have some eggs.
Hey.
There's going to be like 15 eggs. Hey, if Game of Thrones writers can go crazy, I can go crazy too. Dude. He's going to hatch 15 dragon eggs.
15 dragons.
So then, Dany's gonna name the son Jon Arrys. That's just gonna be his name, Jon Arrys. Daenerys. So Daenerys is gonna attack Westeros with 16 dragons, because Drogon's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Dany's gonna come with them, but she's not gonna be like a part of like the main thing. It's primarily gonna be like Jon Arrys attacking King's Landing with his people.
Yeah.
So they like Bran, the all-seeing guy. He sees this is gonna happen, so he gets like the important people and he gets them going. So they're heading. They're trying to go someplace safe. They think Castle Black. They think the North is gonna keep them safe because they just think they're dumb.
Yeah.
They run into Sansa and they're planning on the next day going to Castle Black because they're like John's the only one that can stop this from happening because Jon Arrys looks exactly like Jon.
Yeah.
Looks exactly like Jon. And so so they're all at the Winterfell Castle or whatever. No, they all go to Castle Black the next day, and then they find out that Jon's not there because Jon went over the wall. So all help is lost. A raven flies from Winterfell saying that Daenerys, Jon Arrys, and the 16 dragons have taken over Winterfell.
Yeah.
There's no more snow because they done burned everything. All the snow's gone, and they're just chilling at Winterfell.
Yeah.
Everybody's sad. Tyrion's sad. Everybody's like, we're about to die. Then at night, when the night is at its darkest and the moon is at its fullest, Sansa looks up to the wall. They're at Castle Black or whatever.
Yeah.
And she sees something standing on the wall. As her eyes focuses on the thing standing on top of the wall, it's Jon. Sansa starts to cry because she can't believe it. The one person that can save everything is finally here when they really need him. But then all of a sudden, Jon raises his hands up, and she's wondering where has she seen that pose before? And then she has a flashback. I don't know. She has a flashback of somebody explaining to her what the Night King did that night, and the Night King raised up his hand. And once Jon raises up his hands, 1,000 White Walkers climb over the wall.
Start falling off the wall.
Start falling off the wall.
Damn.
And then before it's over, the screen zooms up in on Jon's face, and his eyes are blue.
Yeah.
And then it goes, Revenge of the Targaryens, A Song of Fire and Ice. Because freaking, god damn it, the Targaryens need their revenge, bro.
I think you're just mad because
I'm pissed.
Jon was the underdog. They made him look like an idiot.
I'm upset.
And everything.
I'm upset. I know, you're right. Like, I'm upset. I feel like Daenerys got screwed over. I feel like Jon got screwed over. I feel good. Daenerys, I feel like she got screwed over by writing. She didn't get screwed over by herself. So I can't come to terms with that. And then Jon, they just destroyed who Jon was.
They did, dude.
He like literally had like 7 lines. She is my queen. I have to tell. It won't happen. I love you.
Besides the speech, he had
honor.
He did honor. He had for real. He had probably like 12 lines the whole season.
Mm-hmm. And he just kept on rotating him. Like he just pulled him out of a hat. And, like just Daenerys would come in like, "Hey, Jon, I love you," and then he'd be like, "You're my queen.
You're my queen."
And then she'd be like, "What? You don't love me?" And then he'd be like, "I have to tell him."
I have to tell them. Why?
Like, why?
Honor.
Or like he'd be like, "Why?" And then he pulls it out. He's like, "What's his other line?" He's like, "Fucking, I love you." She's like, "Jon, what are you talking about?"
You are my queen. This is fucking
freaking Jon, man. He just has those lines, and that's all he has, and nothing else. So I told myself I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna rewatch the whole season this summer, because I was watching some clips of like the earlier seasons, and it's just the difference in dialogue, the difference in like who Tyrion is, or Tyrion was, and who he is today.
Yeah.
And the other characters and the other exciting moments. It's like, I had to go back and rewatch it just so I can like recapture that love, because I understand everything. I get why season 6 was the way season 6 was. I get why season 7 was season 7. Season 7 was when everybody was coming together. So in the beginning of the earlier season, you have like 7 to 8 different plot lines.
Yeah.
And then once you start getting to season 7, it starts becoming 2 or 3 plot lines. So it's understandable that it's harder to put more content out for just 2 or 3 plot lines because those are all those are.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's like, to me, like season 7 is like an Avengers movie. All the superheroes are coming together. That's when they're all coming together. Like Danny and John, like those are like the two like those are the two main characters. They're finally together. So it's like, okay, got that. And then you finally see like Danny fighting against Cersei, like she's fighting Jamie in season 7. So you had like all these people come together in season 7. You had like the Hound meeting John, Tormund he meeting the Hound. So I get why season 7 was like people don't like it, but I'll defend season 7.
Dude, I liked season.
I like season 7. I liked it. That's why I'll defend season 7, even though people say it was trash.
No,
I'll defend
season
it.
7 was good.
I'll defend it because to me it was like we're finally building the foundations for season 8. Season 7's foundational.
Yeah.
And then season 8's foundational, or season 8 to me, season 8's just not complete. There's 4 episodes, and the craziest thing is season 7 only has 6 episodes, when all the other seasons had like 10, right?
Yeah.
So basically, season 7 and season 6 are just like it's a long season. That's 12 episodes. So it's like we're still, so basically to me, like that's why the show doesn't feel complete, because we're waiting on the last 8 episodes. We're owed 8 episodes, and we even took a year off. That's why people are upset.
Yeah.
That's not the writing. It's that we gave you guys a year for this.
Oh yeah.
And they spent the majority of the writing on that fucking night battle. They spent 55 days shooting that fight. 55 nights, I mean. It's like, that's why everything was bad. They spent 55 nights shooting that fight. And then it was great, but no one saw it. And then like,
if they would have ended with that, I would have been fine.
that should have been the last fight.
Should have been the last fight, and then that could have been it. If they would have switched it around, it would make more sense.
Yeah, but
I mean, like I said, they could have made it to where you fought Cersei at first. Somehow they go with the dragons. One of the dragons maybe he gets one dragon, the other dragon gets killed. It's just Drogon, and the Night King and his new ice dragon or whatever. They could have went right there. Dany could have got killed with her dragon. Jon Snow could have got killed, and then Arya could have fucking killed the Night King at the last minute, and I would have been like, that was an amazing episode. I would have been like, that was amazing. I'm glad I watched that episode. It was a good ending.
I just feel like they were trying to be Romeo and Juliet.
And they could have had no context after that.
Mm.
They could have been like, Arya won, and then they all just stood there in the sunrise and just been like, happy and crying.
That's all you needed.
And that would have been it. I would have been like, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think
But they didn't.
Yeah, I think Cersei should have died.
They made everything so unclimactic, dude.
Yeah, that is true. Like, and it was like Dany dying in like the first 30 minutes of episode 6 didn't help. Oh my
god, I was like, what the hell am I gonna watch for the next 40 minutes?
It's like Dany's like one half of the show, and then they locked up the other half in a prison. So then we had like the minor characters like talking.
The side characters being the winners. It was
so crazy. And then so basically it's like a game of Starks. A game of Starks.
It's a game of bullshit is what it is.
That is a game of bullshit.
They did everyone dirty. They did the Night King the dirtiest.
They did. He was the.
They pumped him up as the worst the baddest dude ever.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how Arya killed him. I just feel like it was in the wrong time and wrong place.
I'm fine with Arya killing him. I'm just not fine with Jon not getting the 1-on-1.
Yeah, you know what? If they would have got that one fade, dude, even if Jon lost, I would have been like, you know what? Everything else is worth it.
Honestly, I thought, like, after I watched the episode, I thought that they could have done something where Jon was losing the fight, and then Arya came in, and then did that jump.
Yeah. And
then he turns around and he grabs her or some shit.
Yeah.
And then like Jon like grabs him from behind, and then Arya stabs both of them, and she gets like it breaks through the Night King, but his body disappears, and then it goes through Jon.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be freaking crazy. And then Daenerys is like on her dragon watching it, and she's like, and then Arya like he dies and like she drops it. Like when he dies, like he falls into her, and then she like grabs him, and then Sansa Daenerys like get off Drogon, and then she gets down, and she's like crying. That's how it should have went.
That could have been a good ending.
That would have been crazy. That would have been freaking
that would
crazy.
Climactic, dude.
That would have been like, oh shit, Arya killed.
That's what makes me. They made it so unclimactic, bro. Like they pump it up for so long. You know, they're like, we're getting there. It's just like a roller coaster, but instead of going up a loop, it just goes down.
Oh yeah, like at like 2 miles an hour.
But not a fast. It's just
2 miles an hour.
Slow,
yeah. Or like no, this is where it goes. It goes you're like this is the biggest roller coaster I've seen in my life. And it goes and it stops, and then you get off the ride and you take an elevator down.
Yeah, that's what it is. You take the elevator.
Yeah, you get off. You get one dip. It's like a 4-foot dip.
Yeah. And
then you freaking get off and you get on the elevator and you take that down.
Oh, thank you for writing Game of Thrones.
Thanks for writing.
Actually, please exit left.
No, but then like the elevator is broken. Use the stairs. You can't even take the elevator down. You got to use the stairs. You're walking down the stairs.
But it's like
500 feet.
It's an escalator. It's too much activity. It's just a really long escalator that moves super slow.
The escalator ran out of power, so now you gotta walk down the escalator stairs.
I don't know, but that was not the ending anyone wanted. And I don't care what you say about like, oh well, you know, there's a lot of meaning. Listen, dude, I'm not an expert. I just like to watch cool shit on TV.
You don't have to be an expert to know what's good and what's bad.
That's what I'm saying. All these people make that point. Like, not they paraphrase. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, people say different things. Like, oh, they'll bring up the point. Like, you have no idea what it takes to make this good of a show. Like, dude, I don't. Like, yeah, I know. That's not my job. I never got paid once to run a show.
My job was to pay for the subscription.
Yeah, I paid for the subscription.
It's like, you know how they say if you don't vote, you can't complain? Well, we pay for it. We can complain.
Hell yeah, I could complain.
We can complain.
What do you mean, dude?
We pay for it.
Yeah.
Kit Harington, Sophie Turner. My $15 a month. The reason why you gotta get those $1 billion episodes.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
The least you could do is show a little gratitude.
Hey, yeah, it's Sansa.
Sign this damn petition with me.
Hop on it, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm on it. They probably got more pull than me.
That's what I'm saying. They already got paid. They don't need to worry about it.
The only dude who was for it was the American dude who plays Jamie. He was like, not really, but he did not defend it. He was like, how about a spinoff, like for Arya, you know? Like, at least get our youngins some money. Come on, what the hell?
That what's his name? The black guy that plays Grey Worm was like, he was like, dang, that sucks. Like, he was saying like it sucks that fans feel bad. Like,
yeah,
like there's ways of like you don't have to like bash the fans, and you don't have to like bash there's a way to be neutral. You could just be like, oh man, it sucks that the fans didn't like the ending, or it didn't meet their expectations.
Honestly, I feel like I don't want the actors to feel bad, but then again, I still don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I would feel like for me, like if I was like in charge of like ratings and stuff like that, I'd be like, you would think that. I mean, once it's the last episode, what the ratings matter, but at the same time, like if I was like, wow, like this is gonna be the best show on TV,
mm-hmm.
and it's gonna make. I mean, they potentially lost money.
Well, I sent you this, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the HBO on Instagram, that's from their account. This is actually so HBO. They had the Game of Thrones. There's one more episode of Game of Thrones coming up, and it's not an episode to do anything with content. It's just to show what they went through to make this season.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Of course, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna watch it, but like at the end of that trailer, they said HBO now renew your subscription. Because I think so many people dropped out. Yeah. As soon as like I still have mine because I want to rewatch it over the summer.
I want them to drop the price of HBO to like $3 a month, and then I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna watch Sopranos.
Don't even do that. Just
Is that another bad show?
No, I'm gonna watch that, but I'm saying don't pay for it. Just use my account.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm just gonna send you my. I'll just send you my information. Just use
Send
my
it,
account.
dude. No, but yeah, in terms of this episode and all the reviews that we had so far for it, it seems like it just went downhill.
I mean, I give you credit. You were optimistic in the middle, where I just kind of just jumped off at that point.
I was because I wanted to be, and honestly, there's been times in the show where I felt like, what's the point of even watching this? But then
You have to.
it's just like, even then, even when I felt like that, it was still like tied in. Like it still made sense.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't make sense. The ending, I mean, the ending, granted, they tied in the most important parts, but at the same time, it's like they don't show how they got there, really.
Yeah.
They just kind of throw it at you.
I just was so looking forward to, and it sounds weird because they are related, but I was so looking forward to Dany getting pregnant. Because they kept on.
That would make for a good story.
They kept on referencing it throughout the 7th season. Like she said, I can never have children. Those dragons are all I have. And then she even said it when they were in the dragon pit. She was like, I can never have children. This witch told me I can't have children. And then Jon says, don't you think, I don't think, he was like, I don't think that witch is a reliable source. Because she was like trying to curse you, or you guys were against each other. She was your enemy. She's like, I don't think she's a reliable source. And then later that episode, he proceeds to pipe her out.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking, oh, foreshadowing. Like she's gonna have a kid, and I was like, oh, that's great for her. That's probably the best way to get away from the throne. She's gonna be like, I have a kid now. I don't even want this piece of crap because I have a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like it was just.
So
like,
they make Cersei pregnant.
Yeah, he just made Cersei pregnant, and then Cersei just started drinking alcohol 2 days later. It's whatever.
Terrible, man.
I think even this podcast is running short because I feel like we don't want. Because like I feel like after we put this out, it's like Game of Thrones is really dead.
Yeah. It is.
This is an hour and 36 minutes.
Is it?
It's a long pod.
It's over now, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to talk about.
So one thing I do want to say is foreshadowing is not character development.
Yeah.
There's a difference between foreshadowing and character development. Foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing. If Nick and I we're going to get something to eat after this, and we both had keys to this house, and then Nick said, hey Robert, bring your keys, and I'm like, I'm not gonna bring them, you have yours, we'll be fine. And then we go out, and then Nick loses his keys, and then we somehow make it back to the house, and then we can't get in. You know why? Because I left my keys there. You saying you should bring your keys because we don't know what happens, that's foreshadowing for the future.
Yeah.
Character development is now that I know that, what could happen if I don't bring my keys in the future, I bring keys. I bring my keys and I say, hey, I learned from that lesson that from last time we got locked out. Those are two different. That's two difference between character development and foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And that's what we got foreshadowing as character development.
Yeah, you're right. We did.
That's what I want to say. There's a difference between character development and foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And that's just all I wanted to say before we close this out. No. I might even throw that. I'll just leave it at the back end of the episode. People probably won't hear it because that's like almost 2 hours into it.
Dude.
But like always, I have time now, so this episode's gonna get chopped up into bits. The full episode's gonna go online on iTunes, and we're gonna get some chopped up versions on YouTube. But I mean, you got any last words, Nick?
All I gotta say is that this is Tyrion's fault.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Jon's hella dumb. I'm pretty sure everyone in the North is stupid.
Stupid.
Stupid as hell.
Mm-hmm. Sansa's a bitch.
Sansa's a bitch. And Tyrion's just terrible decisions.
Oh man, I forgot. Like, did we talk about how Bran had planned this off in the beginning?
Bran had planned it off from the beginning?
Yeah. Had to have. And then which is my last words is Bran planned this off from the beginning, so that means he allowed all those people to die.
Yeah, screw Bran. He's a weirdo, dude.
Bran allowed all those people in King's Landing to die because he knew whatever choice Jon made.
I like how they call him Bran the Broken.
Bran the Broken. He was like, Bran's fine.
Yeah.
Bran the Broken.
Like,
no.
She's like, he can't father children.
I don't like
his dick don't work.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sansa's a bitch. Like,
that was cold, man. She wanted to be the queen of everything.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about how like
she got the crown.
Yeah,
she was the happiest one of everyone.
She just got it all. I just don't like Sansa. Dude, I don't like Sansa, and I hope I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. So in closing, it's been real great having you on the episode to review these episodes that we did review. I think we got 50% of them in. We got to get you back on here.
Yeah, man. We'll do some other things.
Well, Nick will be collabing with Unqualified and Educated in the future. So in closing, just want to say goodbye to Game of Thrones and appreciate you.
Yeah, overall, it was still a good show. It's just
a great show. I mean, I still think it's up in contention for being one of the best shows of all time.
It still is, but I think that's part of the disappointment is that it's such a good show. The ending they gave it wasn't really worthy.
It wasn't a worthy conclusion. Unless you're like a Sansa fan or something.
Yeah, unless you're just like, Sansa's the character that I care about the most.
And I don't think anybody's really like, I'm a Sansa fan. Like, I'll probably look at you funny. I don't like Arya, Jon, Daenerys, Tyrion. I'd be like, the Hound.
Like me, I'll be honest. I'm a Tyrion fan.
No, I think Tyrion's
I like Tyrion more than any of the other characters. And even then, it's hard for me to be like, wow, like they made it his fault. I mean, they don't ever blame anyone, but basically it's his fault. Yeah, and it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not happy with the ending, but it is what it is. I'm sure I'll get over it, and that'll just be part of the ending now, just like Dexter is for me.
Oh, I'm skipping this when I do my rewatch. I'm watching up to season 7. In my mind, Jon and Daenerys and happily ever after in that boat.
Yeah,
she took my boat. Or she said ship. He was like,
he took my ship.
Yeah, he said, I'm a prisoner. He said, you're free to walk the castles and walk the land, walk anything you want. He said, you took my ship. He said, technically we didn't take your ship. He said, I won't get into word games with you. Freaking Jon.
That was so stupid.
Of course you ain't getting the war games with Tyrion.
I brought dragons. I feel like he closes his eyes when he talks. I brought dragons.
In conclusion,
I shot you through the heart.
We've had so many conclusions.
Close his eyes when he says it.
We've had so many conclusions. We're just gonna close it out here with our appreciation at an hour and 43 minutes. As always, I used to say, I only say this for the whatever. Let's just throw this on the Unqualified and Educated channel. As always, stay unqualified, live uneducated. Thanks for tuning in.